Hello friends, how you doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. I'm here to share with you some more. This is like the second episode of behind the scenes crafting. I think that was fun. I did one last week, the first one, and it might become a regular thing. I'm not sure yet if I could keep up with it. But I wanted to show you what I did this past week while watching TV and just little things in between my craft room, in between videos, and whenever I had time. So last week I mentioned I'm working on my scraps. So this week I made punched a bunch of butterflies. I have a set of 3 butterfly punches. There's a little teeny, a medium, and a they're not, and none of them are very big, but small, medium, and large. But this is the biggest size here of the butterflies punches. So anyway, this was about half empty, and so I just went through my scraps and pulled out all types, papery and cardstock, and just punched out a bunch of little butterflies. I like to put these in my goodie bags, and I also like to use them in my journals, in clusters and just little decorations on pockets and ephemera. So I like to have these on hand. Oh, and I even punched some out of a doily piece, which I never did before. Let me show you how they came out. They came out so pretty that I think I need to do more of that. Isn't that pretty? A little doily butterfly. So yeah, those came out super cute. I was surprised that it even punched them, but it did. And let's see, we'll look at this in a second. I did so many things this week. I don't even know if I can get them all in this video. Something else that I punched out was a bunch of, last week I had punched out a bunch of tags, but they are a little bit bigger than this. They're like about 2 by 3 or something like that. These are smaller, like 2 by 2 or whatever, 2 by 1.5. And I just went through again and pulled out all the smaller pieces that, like I used the bigger pieces, of cardstock for the, a little bit bigger. And then I went through all the ones that were left and punched out all of these little size tags. I mean, all different, fun, even some out of file folder and solid colored cardstock. So I have a bunch of those. I haven't punched the hole in them yet. I got to go back and do that, but I at least did punch out the tags. So I got that done this week while watching TV. Both of those were TV crafts. Also, while watching TV, I took apart this little book that I showed you in my last week of Thrifty Thursday. It's this little quote book, kind of encouraging words type book. And so it had a spiral in here. So I just cut it like right here and right here. Was able to take that out and keep this all together. So now I can use this for a journal in the future. And it would make a cute little journal, I think. I just need to, I would cover this up and make this whatever, whatever I wanted to make it, some type of theme or something. I could put something on the spine and the back. Inside, this is really pretty. I could leave this and just cover the spine. I would cut these 2 little pieces off right here and make it even down with the, or I could even glue that back down. I could even glue that down right there and just anyway, I'm going to put this in I have a stack of covers anyway, so I'm going to put this in my covers and save it for a future journal. And then here's all this one I had taken out with the perforation to see what that was like, I think even before the video. And then after the video, I decided, I wanted to, or before the video, I actually decided I wanted to just take the spiral out. So they look like this. You still have those, what I think are cool little squares over here. You can put it in a journal as just a fun little quote, encouraging words, or you can, in a pocket or something, or you can put it as a page and turn it around. Like you could put even 2 of these together like this, hinge them back together, and have the fun squares on the outside. You know what I mean? You could weave something through there. Just a lot of options there. So I got that apart and ready to craft with. Let's see. I dyed, just to show you everything I've been doing, I dyed, this is not all. This is like at least maybe 1/3 I've been dyeing some coffee dyed paper for, you know, for me. I use a lot of it, and I have a listing in my shop. So like I said, I think I said before, I like to have it ready. And for me, look at that, real grungy one. But yeah, I like to have it ready, and for me and for my shop. So had fun doing that. I love coffee dyeing, and I love this. I love seeing this big stack, you know what I mean? That's not a big stack. My big stack's put away. I also coffee dyed some book pages. I have a listing in my shop for coffee dyed book pages and naturally aged book pages, and I think I have a book block in there too. But anyway, I thought I would go ahead. I was running low on the coffee dyed book pages, so I did those. So that's what they look like, coffee dyed. They kind of look like naturally aged, but a little darker, and they have, like, see the tops of them, how they get kind of dark sometimes. I think they're not really super grungy, but they just look very vintage. Look at that one. Some of them look a little grungy, don't they? But yeah, they look very vintage after I coffee dye them. So I like that. I like to use them myself and have them ready for my shop. And then this is my stack of beauty here, the Astro Brights that I coffee dye. Now, I showed you last week Astro Bright paper that I coffee dyed, but this time this is coffee dyed and dried in the oven. All of this I dried in my oven last Saturday. Not yesterday, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before. After my video, I did it, and because I was really anxious to do it, I did it right away after my video. But look at how, like, I put in the oven to dry about maybe five pieces, just stacked them together and put them in the oven. You know, because you don't have a lot of room in your oven, right? You have 2 racks, and you can pretty much only put like 4 piles in there. So I wanted to get, I had all this to do. And so I put like stacks of 5 in there. And so the one on the bottom, let me show you, gets lines on it. And maybe you've seen this before, but it's pretty cool. It gets lines on it from the oven rack, right? So that's pretty cool. And then this is just how the other ones came out from coffee dyeing, and the colors blending in between. I mean, aren't those so? Look, here's some lines on these from the oven. Isn't that cool? I pretty much love these. Thank you to Nicole at Relax Cut and Glue for cluing us all in on this. But so pretty. This was not my idea. This was Nicole's idea, and I love these. I really do. I love them. so fun, and I love the colors and everything. I know you have to I've discovered you have to be really careful. These papers, I don't know if they're more thin. I think what actually happens is you have to handle these more, or I had to handle these more than I do my other coffee dye paper that I just showed you, moving them in and out of the oven and stuff, so you have a more of a chance of ripping them, even just a little tiny bit on the edges. So I had to be really careful to not rip them when I was moving them around onto the oven racks to dry and everything. I mean, once they're dry, they're fine. And I had this one piece of scrapbook paper this is from my 2006 scrapbook paper, I believe. And I had one piece left that I hadn't coffee dyed, I found. So I went ahead and coffee dyed that while I was coffee dyeing. And this I never showed you. I showed it to you. This is where I did a video where I transferred all my own personal recipes into this pretty recipe binder that I had found at a thrift store. I used all the insides in my journals, and I showed you where I put all my recipes in here. But after that video, I went back and put these pockets in. It didn't have any pockets here, and I decided this is some extra stuff from my personal collection of recipes. So I put this pretty pocket here. It kind of matches. Let me take this out and show you. It pretty much matches. See how it, whoops. I got all kind of little bits and pieces in here, recipes and stuff. But see how it matches the colors here? I picked out this cardstock to make pockets there. So I've got some nice pockets here. And I made I didn't just glue it down flat, I folded it in so I have like a pocket with room, you know what I mean? Instead of just gluing the flat piece down, I folded the edges under about 1/2 inch and on the sides, I think just on the sides, so I'd have a roomy pocket so I could, because I, you know, see all this kind of stuff, it's kind of like bulky. So I wanted a roomy pocket. And I think I did the same thing in the back. Let me see. Oh, I made a smaller pocket back here. I'm going to move this around. Let me make sure you can see here. Move this over a little bit. Sorry about the glare. These are, you know, I have my recipes in these the sleeves. But here I just made a little pocket because I didn't want to cover up this flower here. See this pretty bouquet of flowers or vase of flowers here? I didn't want to cover that up, so I put a smaller pocket here. The same way with the little fold over on the edges. And then I have more room in there, so I have a few things back here too. A few recipes and things. So that I finished that off to you know, put away now in my kitchen. So that was fun to get that done. And let's see, what else did I do this week? I did a lot, right? You know, I have a lot of fun, right? So Maria and I were crafting together the other night, and when we were crafting it together, I made these. I told her and that I had in mind that I wanted to make some little my own thank yous, you know, and I had coffee dyed all these little tags. I showed you those, and was it last week on my last behind the scenes video? Probably. And so I ended up using some of them like this. I just stamped, this one says handmade with love. That's a little stamp, you know, just a little rubber stamp I have. So I stamped that with some of them, handmade with love. Oh, this one I put a die cut flower on, see that? It's white, so it's hard to see probably, but it's a die cut flower that I glued on there. And that is sticker paper. I just got that. I didn't know it existed, but it's, you can put, I have that little Sizzix Sidekick, and I put sticker paper through it with a die cut, and it was actually a sticker. I did put some glue on it too to make sure all the little petals were sticking down and everything, but that was super cool to actually be able to die cut a sticker. So that was awesome. So the handmade with love on this, I just used cardstock so I can write a little note, thank you note on here with my order. So I did the handmade with love one, and I did some with a thank you. See that? How cute that looks. So people will get that in their order. A little pretty little tag on top to top everything off with the, this is some lace and strips that I put on top with a little note, and it's just tied on there with a string. But those were fun to make. So I got a few. I need to make a lot more, but I've already used about 4 or 5 of them. But those were fun to make. And I want to make some more. Let's see. When I was crafting with Maria, I also made this little tag envelope I showed her. I would just pull it out of my, where did I get these? I think in your creative studio. And I just put this little sticker on here, and I was, these are some letter, you know, rubber stamps, and I was going to do confidential, and I showed it to her. I was like, all I fit on there was confident. But at least it's a word, right? That's what I said to her, to Maria. I was like, at least it's a word, right? So that was funny, but cute, right? I thought that came out really cute. And this I worked on, was it today? I'm not sure. Anyway, sometime in the last week, where I just made a little tag here, playing around. It's backed with that brown file folder. See, this is the part that's not, you know, on the outside. If I would have turned it around, it would have been plain. That would have been a good idea, but I didn't. I left the printed side, and then just added some music, coffee dyed music. This is a die cut flower that I had in my stash already. And I added this pretty little topper here with a strip. I think I did this when I was crafting with Maria, maybe. This little topper of a strip of vintage sheet fabric, and then just a couple little, this is a little piece of washi. It's like washi, I like washi postage stamps. That's there. And this is a little piece of like a metal key. Those little metal key tags with the paper in the middle. I just stamped a little A on there just to have something on there and glued it down. I think it came out really cute, so I'll be adding that to my ephemera stash. And then I'm in the process also. I've got 3 done. These take a long time to coffee dye. If you've never coffee dyed a file folder, it just takes a long time to dry, for me anyway. I get them nice and, you know, coffeeed up. And then I lay them out to air dry. I air dry them. I did try, you can dry these in the oven, you just got to be really careful. But I like air drying them. So to air dry them, it takes a really long time, because really I do one side at a time. I coffee dye one side, let it dry all the way pretty much, and then turn it over and do the other side, and make sure I go back and check and make sure it's got a lot of coffee marks on it, because it just kind of like absorbs the coffee or something, and all of a sudden you'll go back and you'll be like, wow, it looks like I didn't even do anything. You know what I mean? If you've ever coffee dyed file folders, you'll know what I mean. But I go back and like, oh, it looks like it absorbed all the coffee or something, and I go back and put more coffee on. So these are much harder to coffee dye than paper, but I made some for me, and I'm making some for my shop, but they, I think the price will reflect that they're a lot more work than paper. So, you know, I think my price was a little low at first, because, I mean, they just take a long time, and they take up a lot of room. Like, this is 2 pieces of paper, right? But this is one folder, so I can't get as many done as at one time as I can on the paper or book pages. So the file folders take me a really long time to make, just because of all of those little elements. And let's see, let me show you this little idea for using, and I'm sure it's probably been done before, but I had a little crazy dream about this. I told Maria about it, and I dreamt this one night. I was like, I had gotten a couple of packages of these, you know, bubble envelopes from Amazon. This is a cut up one. But I dreamt about it. I put them away with my shipping stuff, and I thought I might need this bubble envelope for shipping. Put it away that day, and that night I dreamed about these envelopes. And I dreamt that I should make something out of them. And the thing I dreamt that I should make out of them is envelopes, like make new envelopes out of the bubble envelopes, right? So, and I dreamt that I should cover them with wallpaper. Very specific, right? But in my dream, it's like, it was this magical thing in my dream. Like, oh, this is just the greatest idea ever. I told Maria exactly this story. And then I woke up and I was like, what the heck? That wasn't that great of a discovery. But I still had to try it, right? So I did. I made 3 here out of wallpaper. This is wallpaper that Maria gave me. All of this. And so what I did, this was, let's see. This was the first one I made. I just took that envelope and cut it up like you saw here in pieces that I would want to cover with wallpaper. And all I did was then cut a piece of wallpaper. See how this is even here? I cut an even piece so that my wallpaper will start here, wrap around, and go up a little bit above this, so I have a flap, right? So that's what I did here. I rounded my corners, and before I didn't immediately sew it together like this, because I wanted to sew across here. See in here, see where it's sewn right across here and here? That's so all the bubble part is sewn together. So I did that one first. I thought, well, that is pretty cool. I really like that. So I did a second one, and I tried not sewing. I just tried sewing, folding it up and sewing here. I wanted to see how that was. And of course, this is not sewn down. And I like it better like this, all sewn down. It just looks like it was always that way, you know. I mean, I never sewed it down, but it just looks like to get more together, I guess. But I mean, I'll use this one too. I just have an extra pocket here. I could glue it together here if I wanted. Like, I guess I could put some glue there and glue that down and glue that down. I might do that. I might try that and see how that works out. I would use Fabri-Tac on all that, all that, you know, plastic in there and glue it down. I might try that and see how that works out. So that one, and this is the third one I did. I wanted to make a bigger one. So I got a big piece, the biggest piece of the envelope that was left, and put, you know, and then I wanted a bigger flap too. See how this one's a little flap, and how when you fold it down, it doesn't really, you know, kind of like flops back up or flaps back up. And this one kind of lays more flat. You could always put a piece of washi, or if you're actually going to mail this, you could put some glue or double-sided tape on there, because you could actually mail this. But I did that the other way, the first way I did it, where I sewed all of this on before I put the flap up, okay? And then I put the flap up. See, I did a zigzag stitch before I put the flap on, so I just did the zigzag stitch all around the bubble wrap, folded it up, and then did a straight stitch up here, so you don't really notice the straight stitch too much. You know, I didn't want too much sewing here. So it was all sewn together, and then I did the flap after. I thought, let me try and see what it looks like, you know, with the flap sewn, because see, I didn't do that on this one, this first one, but I tried. I like how it looks. It gives a kind of a finished look where it's everything's sewn around. There's no reason to do it except for looks, because I'm not sewing anything together here. But I thought that was a lot of fun doing all those envelopes. So I finished cutting up the rest of the envelope. I haven't finished it yet, or had time to finish it, making these into envelopes. But I'm going to make all these pieces into envelopes. That'll be a project for this week. Hopefully I'll get to it, but I'll have myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of these bubble envelopes. I can use them for whatever I want, you know what I mean? Happy Mail, or shipping something if I need some protection for something little, and I can put it in there and ship it off somewhere. But I thought that was a lot of fun, and I would really like to keep making those. 2 more projects. Okay, so this is just a project I want to get done. I haven't done yet. I want to glue. I made this for the 1 week I did the CW Marguerite Miller planner. I just did it one time. I tried it and I liked it, but I just couldn't keep up with it. You know, I just didn't have time to keep up with it. So this is my little, this is going to be my glue book. It's an altered book that I'm turning into a glue book. So whatever gluing I do, I'm going to do in here. And I want to put this little, see, this is where I did the August 31st, I did the little thing for, it was where we had the prompts for JD, Junie Desiree, Willowbound Journals, and this was my spread for her thing she did in August. I think it came out really super cute. I hope you saw that video, because it was a lot of fun, and I really like how this came out. And these are pieces. This is not one thing I just glued down. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, I think, that I glued in here. So, and I like how it came out. And then, so this is a little divider that I did for that Marguerite Miller, you know, gluing thing she does. And, or, you know, she has prompts and everything. I thought I'd put this in the very middle. So here's the middle. It looks like the middle. I thought I might glue this as my little divider. Here's a little piece, or a couple little pages where I had, I showed you how I did this in one of my videos too. Maybe it was the same one where I did the spread. Yeah, I think it was, because I just started it. But I can link that video below. But I thought it would be cool if I could put this in here, because I had it just sitting here waiting for me to do something. It's a perfect size, isn't it? I didn't plan this, but when I saw it sitting there, I was like, well, that would look really cute in my glue book, my new glue book here. And I could glue it right onto this page, and see, I'll have a little tab there. S for Sherry. I didn't think of that either. So anyway, let's do that together right now. And then I have one more project to show you. It might be the best one that I've started this week. I am going to work on it some more this coming week, but and Maria and I are doing a swap and glue, so I'll get to use my glue book again when I get her swap and glue package. I can't wait. Now I'm excited about it, Maria. And I sent her some stuff, and she sent me some stuff. We're going to do swap and glue. It'll be my first swap and glue, so Maria got me excited about it, so now I can't wait to do it. So I'm going to glue this on. I'm going to put it a little bit out from the edge to make sure it's where I want it, and you know where the tab was there that you saw sticking out. If this glue will come out, I might have to stick a little pin in there or something. Let me see. Is it dried up? It's not dried up, but you know what I mean. The end of it has a little globby glue on it here. Let me see. Sorry about that. I might have to pause if it won't come out. One more try. One more try. You got one more try here, glue, and then I'm going to have to get serious. This is the little thing I got from Dollar Tree. Let me see if this loosens it up. I don't feel anything, but something's not coming out. So let's try that. Let's see if that worked. Oh yeah, I hear some air coming through now. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. You know how glue is. It's very temperamental sometimes. At least mine is. Hope I'm not the only one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got some glue on there. I don't know if I'll need more, but we'll see. Okay, so I want to get it in the perfect spot here. So that little tab is sticking out there. Yeah, that looks good. I think this is going to be really cute. I've never really done a whole glue book before, or a glue book. I glue things into my journal, my junk journal, and my, all my other journals. But I've never done like a glue book. So this is what I thought this would be fun to try this type of glue book for my first glue book for myself, So that looks pretty solid. See this right here? That's the back of it. And I can glue back here too. So now I've got this little tab in here. I need to let it dry and stop moving it around, and then I'll see if it needs any more glue. If it does, I'll put some more up under the edge. In fact, I think I'll put a little bit right now under this edge right here. And then I'll leave it alone and let it dry. Because I want to show you this other project that I've started that I'm going to work on this week. I think you guys will like it, and I think I will like it, and it will be really fun. So I'm going to close that up and let that dry. Okay, this is the Robin Kane book that I took out pages and made into an altered book for a glue book. Just an easy way to make a glue book. I'll link that video below. Okay, so the other project I've just barely started, and I mentioned before I wanted to make different size glue books, right? So I made I made 2 3 signatures, and then somebody requested, well, I made 1 3 signature, right? I think. No, I made 2 3 signature. Somebody requested another 3 signatures, and somebody requested a 2 signature, and then I wanted to try a 1 signature. So this is going to be a 1 signature glue book, and I was took kind of a long time to get it started. To me, it was a long time. Maybe to you guys it wasn't, but I was trying to figure out what kind of cover, and I have a couple other things I pulled out for covers, but when I was doing those envelopes, I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to do a wallpaper cover, because it's, it's thick and sturdy. It's not stiff, but you can, like, this is a plaid, but you can glue on this, like make it wallpaper, so it's kind of strong, it's a strong paper, wallpaper, but you can glue on it. And if you were to glue here something and glue something here, and even on the pocket, all of that gluing will even sturdy it up even more. So that's my idea for the cover, like make a wallpaper cover like that. And then I'm going to put some of my regular, this is one of my Astro Brights coffee dyed papers. I want to put some of those, and then some of my other, papers like I usually put in a glue book, and just make a 1 signature glue book. So it can't be too fat, because I can't make it too fat, because the idea is for whoever might get it is to be able to glue on here and here. So you're going to be like, what, tripling each page? So yeah, I can't put like tons. I can't make it alligator mouth, because whoever gets it could possibly make it alligator mouth. But that's my idea for getting started on a 1 signature glue book. So I just wanted to try it and see. I mean, I think there was interest when I first mentioned it, making smaller glue books. So I'm going to grab some pages, and I'll be right back and show you some of the pages I'm going to use. Okay, so I pulled out some papers that I'll be putting in here, and I was going to show you. I don't have much time left, so we can't get too much done today, but I will hopefully be able to make a second video and show you how I'm working on this. But I pulled out some different papers also, so I'm going to be putting in some of the Astro Brights. I'm going to use the ones that I baked in the oven. So they have some, some of them will have lines and just, I did put these in my big atlas and under some papers. They weren't really wrinkled or anything. I just like to do that just to, flatten them out a little bit, but they're so beautiful. So I'm going to use some of those, and they'll look kind of like, let me fold one. Well, I already folded one. They'll look like this. And then I received some of these beautiful handmade papers in Happy Mail. Really beautiful texture. I thought that would be really fun. They're kind of rough on this side and then a little smoother on the other side. Really beautiful. So I have some different colors of those. Some of like this lavender color, light lavender, and some of this really pretty cream color, and some pink, light pink, and some, let me show you, yellow, some blue, and yeah, that's all the colors of that. I think I folded one in half to see what it would look like. Oh, this is the letter from my friend on that one, but that's what it would look like folded. So I might, let's see, I might have to cut them down a little bit. Let's see if they'll fit in here. Let's see if I folded one in half. Yeah, I might have to cut a sliver, just barely. They almost fit, but a little sliver off the top and a little sliver off the side, so that won't be too bad. So those I have are contenders. And then I usually put some sketchbook paper in there. I have some of this nice sketchbook paper here that is like the perfect size, and it's a nice thick sketchbook paper, kind of like typing paper. Really nice fibery type sketchbook paper. And then I have this that I got from that album. It's kind of like handmade paper also. This might be too small, but I did take these, I coffee dyed them. I think I might have showed you that last week, where I took them out of that album that I brought home and showed you on my Thrifty Thursday. Let's see if these are too small real quick. And I do have to go. My time is pretty much up, but that's a contender. And then I have, my regular like atlas that I need to cut up and some dictionary pages. So all that kind of stuff we'll work on in my next video, but that is a project I thought would be fun for this next week. Maybe, oh, and I have these two other covers I pulled out, and I'll explain these further in my next video, but they're like file folders, and I'll explain why and what they are in my next video. So that will hopefully be maybe on a Wednesday of this week, so you can look for that. So thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed all the activity that went on behind the scenes this week in my crafty world. So I'll see y'all next time. Have a great day and happy crafting.